Hello everyone, this is Aparna Shetty, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, AG Institute of Engineering and Technology. Okay, so in this video lecture, I'm going to discuss about Module 5 from the subject Object-Oriented Concepts. So in Module 5, there are two chapters, Event Handling and Swings. In this video lecture, we will discuss about event handling. Okay, so let us begin. So basically, what is an event? Change in the state of an object is known as an event. Okay, that is, event describes the change in state of source. Okay, here source is represented by an object. So if there is a change of state in the Java object, it is known as an event. Events are generated as a result of user interaction with the graphical user interface components. So, when a user interacts with the graphical user interface components or the GUI components, events are generated. For example, clicking on a button, okay, moving the mouse, entering a character through the keyboard, selecting an item from the list, scrolling the pages are the activities that causes an event to happen. Okay, so clicking a button, moving the mouse, entering a character through the keyboard, selecting an item from the list, scrolling the page. These are some examples for events. Okay, so this is about an event, that is change in the state of an object. And these events are generated as a result of user interactions with the GUI components. For example, clicking on a mouse button, moving the mouse, entering a character through the keyboard, okay, selecting an item from the list, scrolling the pages are some examples for events. Next topic is type of events. So, the events can be broadly classified into two categories. First category is the foreground events. Okay, so what is foreground events? Those events which require the direct interaction of user. They are generated as consequences of a person interacting with the graphical components in the graphical user interface. Okay, so this is important. They are generated as a consequence of a person interacting with the graphical components, okay, in the graphical user interfaces. So the events which require the direct interaction of user and which are generated as a result of a person directly interacting with the graphical components in the graphical user interface. Example for foreground events are clicking on a button, moving the mouse, entering a character through the keyboard, selecting an item from the list, scrolling the pages. So these are the example of foreground events. Okay, so foreground events are generated by the user interacting with the graphical components in the GUI. Example of such foreground events are clicking the mouse button, moving the mouse, entering a character, selecting an item from the list, or scrolling the pages. So the interactions which we do with the GUI, as a result of these interactions, foreground events will be generated. Next type of event is background event. Okay, now those events that require the interaction of the user are known as background events. Okay, these also require the interaction of the end user. Okay, and examples of such events are operating system interrupts, hardware or software failures, timer expires, and operation completion are the examples of background events. Okay, the events that require the interaction of the end user are known as background events. Examples of background events are operating system interrupts, hardware or software failure, timer expires, and operation completion are the examples of the background events. Okay, so you should understand what are foreground events. Foreground events are the events that are generated by GUI interactions, like clicking the mouse button, moving the mouse, okay, entering a character, selecting an item from the list, scrolling the page. Okay, background events are the ones, okay, that are generated in the background, that is operating system interrupts, hardware or software failures, or a timer expires, and operation completion. Okay, these are the events generated in the background. Next topic is, what is event handling? Now we have seen what is an event, we have seen what are the types of events. Next is, what is event handling? So event handling is the mechanism that controls the event and decides what should happen if an event occurs. Okay, so the mechanism that controls the events and decide what should happen if an event occurs is known as event handling mechanism. Okay, what should be done when an event occurs? The mechanism have the code which is known as event handler that is executed when an event occurs. So this mechanism has a code known as event handler, and this event handler should be executed whenever an event occurs. Okay, so when an event occurs, this event handler should be executed. Java uses the delegation event model to handle the events. So the delegation event model is used by Java to handle events. Okay, so what is event handling? Is the mechanism that controls the event and decides what should happen when an event occurs. Okay, and this mechanism have the code which is known as event handler. Okay, and this event handler is executed when an event occurs. And in Java, we are using the delegation event model to handle the events. Next, let us see about this delegation event model. Delegation event model defines standard and consistent mechanisms to generate and process events. Okay, so it defines standard and consistent mechanisms to generate events and process events as well. A source generates an event and sends it to one or more listeners. Okay, so there is a source which is generating an event, and once it generates an event, it will send it to one or more listeners. The listener simply waits until it receives an event. Once received, the listener processes the event and then returns. Okay, so first a source will generate an event and send it to one or more listener. The listener waits until it receives an event. Once it receives an event, the listener processes the event and then returns. So event is generated by the source. Okay, event is generated by a source. Okay, and it is processed by the listener. Okay, source generates the event and listener processes the event. The advantage of this design is that the application logic that processes the event is cleanly separated from the user interface logic that generates those events. Okay, so there is a clean separation between the application logic that processes the event, okay, and it is independent of the user interface logic that generates those events. Okay, so the application logic that processes events, or the event handler, is cleanly separated from the user interface logic, or the source that generates those events. In the delegation event model, listeners must register with the source in order to receive an event notification. So the listeners should register with the source. Okay, they must register with the source in order to receive an event notification. Next, events. In the delegation model, an event is an object that describes a state change in a source. Okay, so an event is nothing but it is an object that describes a state change in a source. It can be generated as a consequence of a person interacting with the elements in a graphical user interface. Okay, so events can be generated as a result of a person interacting with the elements in the GUI. Some of the activities that cause events to be generated are pressing a button, entering a character through the keyboard, selecting an item in the list, and clicking the mouse. So as a result of these activities, okay, in the GUI, events can be generated. Next topic is event sources. A source is an object that generates an event. Source may generate more than one type of event. A source must register listeners in order for the listeners to receive notification about the specific type of event. So a source is an object that will generate an event, and it can generate more than one type of event. Okay, as well as a source must register listeners. Okay, so that listeners can handle that event, or it can receive notification about a specific type of event, and later that listener can handle them. Each type of event has its own registration method. Okay, so every type of event has its own registration method. General form of that method is public void add type listener, okay, with the parameter EL, which is an object of type listener. Okay, here type is the name of the event and EL is the reference to the event listener. Okay, so in order to register the event listener, we need this method add type listener. Okay, and we need to pass an object of type listener type. Okay, here type is the name of the event and EL is the reference to the event listener. A source must also provide a method that allows a listener to unregister an interest in a specific type of event. Just like how a listener can register with the source, okay, same way, okay, a source must provide a method. So just like how it provides method, okay, to register a listener, okay, in the same way it must provide methods to unregister a listener. Okay, so a source must also provide a method that allows a listener to unregister an interest in a specific type of event. So the listener can register for a specific type of event as well as it can unregister for a specific type of event. The general form of such a method is public void remove type listener. Okay, and it takes a parameter that is an object of type listener. Okay, where type is the name of the event that you want to remove and EL is the reference to the event listener. Okay, so basically there are two methods. One method to add the type listener and one more method is to remove the type listener. Okay, so to register a listener, we need to call the method add type listener. Okay, and to unregister a listener, for a specific type of event, we need to call the method a remote type listener. Next topic is event listeners. A listener is an object that is notified when an event occurs. Okay, so a listener is the person who is going to handle that event. So whenever an event occurs, he must be notified. It has two major requirements. First, it must have been registered with more than one or more sources to receive notification about the specific type of event. Okay, so it first of all, in order to get an notification about an event, first of all it must be registered with the sources. Okay, in order to receive notification about specific type of event, it must be registered with the sources. Second, it must implement methods to receive and process these notifications. So the event listener must also implement methods to receive and process these notifications. So once it registers itself with the source, it must also have methods to receive and handle the events also. Next topic is event classes. At the root of the Java event class hierarchy is the event object, which is in java.util. So Java event class hierarchy, the root node is event object. So the event object is the root node here. Okay, and it is in the package java.util package. It is a superclass for all events. Okay, and it has one constructor as shown here. The name of the constructor is event object. Okay, and it takes a parameter, that is an object of type source. Here source is an object that generates this event. Okay, so Java event class hierarchy has a root node event object, which is in the package java.util, and it is a superclass for all events. It has one constructor which is defined this way, where source is the object that generates the event. Next, the event object class contains two methods. We have seen the constructor of the event object class. Now it has two methods, getSource and toString. The getSource method returns the source of the event. Okay, so getSource is a method which will return the source of the event. Next, toString method returns the string equivalent of the method. So to return the source of the event or the source object of the event, we call the getSource method. And toString method is used to return the string equivalent of the event. The class AWT event defined within the java.awt package is a subclass of event object. Now already we have seen about this event object, correct? Now we have one more class, that is AWT event, okay, which is defined within the package java.awt, and it is a subclass of event object. Its getID method can also be used to determine the type of the event. Okay, so getID is a method used to determine the type of the event. Next topic is main event classes in java.awt.event. So these are the event classes. Okay, these are the event classes which are defined in java.awt.event package. Okay, we will be studying each of these event classes in detail. Okay, first event class is action event. Okay, action event is generated when a button is pressed, a list item is double clicked or a menu item is selected. So when you perform one of these tasks, okay, that is when a button is pressed, a list item is double clicked or a menu item is selected. When one of these activities is performed, action event is generated. Next event class is adjustment event. Adjustment event is generated when a scroll bar is manipulated. So you do some changes to the scroll bar, that time adjustment event is generated. Next is component event. Component event is generated when a component is hidden, moved, resized or become visible. Okay, so when you do some changes to the component, like when the component is hidden or it is moved or you resize, okay, or it becomes visible, you perform all these activities, component event is generated. Next is container event. Generated when a component is added to or removed from a container. So when you add or remove a component to a container event is generated. Next is focus event. Generated when the component gains or loses keyboard focus. So focus event is generated when a component gains or loses the keyboard focus. Input event. Abstract superclass for all the component input event classes. Okay, so input event is the superclass for all the input event classes. Next is item event. Generated when a checkbox or a list item is selected. Okay, also occurs when a choice selection is made or a checkable menu item is selected or deselected. So when you perform all these tasks, item event is generated. That is when a checkbox or a list item is clicked, okay, or when a choice selection is made or a checkable menu item is selected or deselected. So when all these activities are performed, item event is generated. Next event type class is key event. Okay, so generated when the input is received from the keyboard. So whenever we are going to enter an input from the keyboard, in that case key event is generated. Mouse event. Generated when the mouse is dragged, moved, clicked, pressed or released. Also generated when the mouse enters or exits a component. Okay, so these are the events that are generated with respect to the mouse. Okay, that is mouse events. When you click a mouse, drag or move, when it is pressed or released. Okay, in that case mouse events are generated. Next type of event is mouse wheel event. Okay, generated when the mouse wheel is moved. Okay, so when you move the mouse wheel event is generated. Next type of event is text event. It is generated when the value of a text area or a text field is changed. Okay, so text event is generated when you make some changes to the text area or text field components of the GUI. The last type of event is window event. Generated when a window is activated, closed, deactivated, de-iconified, iconified, opened or quit. Okay, so when you make all these changes to the window, when you activate, close, deactivate, iconified, de-iconified, okay, opened or quit, when you perform all these activities with the window, a window event is generated. Next, first in this slides, we will be studying about all the event classes, okay, that we have seen in detail. Okay, so the first event class is action event class. So an action event is generated when a button is pressed, a list item is double clicked or a menu item is selected. So when you perform all these tasks, an action event is generated. The action event class defines 4 integer constants that can be used to identify any modifier associated with an action event. Okay, these integer constants are alt mask, okay, control mask, meta mask, shift mask. Okay, so when you perform all these events, okay, if you press the alt key or control key or the meta key or the shift key, okay, those are modifiers associated with the action event are represented by these 4 integer constants. So the 4 integer constants can be used to identify any modifier associated with the action event. So when you perform this action event, if you press the alt or control or shift key, okay, these 4 integer constants is used to represent them. Okay, so the 4 integer constants are alt mask, control mask, meta mask and shift mask. In addition, there is an integer constant action performed. Okay, so there is an integer constant action performed which can be used to identify action events. So this is the integer constant which is used to identify action events. So which type of action event is represented by this integer constant action performed? Okay, so this is about action event. When that event is generated, when you perform this task, when a button is pressed, a list item is double clicked or a menu item is selected. Okay, and it has 4 integer constant to represent any modifiers when an action event takes place, as well as it has one more integer constant, that is action performed, to determine the action event. Okay, so next we will see the constructors of action event. Action event has 3 constructors. First constructor, action event, object source, int type and string command. So it takes 3 parameters, that is the source object, type and the command, which is of type string. Next constructor, okay, it takes 4 parameters, source object, int type, string command and int modifiers. Finally, we have the last constructor which takes 5 parameters, source, int type, string command, long when and int modifiers. Okay, here source is a reference to the object that generated the event. Okay, so source is the used to represent the object that generated the event. The type of the event is specified by the type command. Okay, and its command string is represented by command. So the type of the event is specified by type parameter and the command string is represented by command parameter. The argument modifiers indicate which modifier keys were pressed when the event was generated. So you have this argument which is modifiers, correct? And this is used to indicate which modifier keys you pressed when the event generated. So if you press alt key or whether you press control key or whether you pressed meta key or whether you press shift key. So if you press one of these keys when the event was generated, okay, that is represented by this argument modifiers. The when parameter specifies the timestamp when the event occurred. Okay, so the timestamp when the event occurs is represented by this when parameter. You can obtain the command name for the invoking action event object by using the getAction command method. Okay, so getAction command method will return the command name for the invoking action event object. So action event object's command name you can get by the method getActionCommand method. This method is as follows. It will return a string, that is string representing the command name. Okay. So getActionCommand. This method will return the command name. Okay. For the invoking action event object. Okay. So it is the string representation of the action event. Command is nothing but the string representation of the action event object. So if you want that string representation, you have to call the getActionCommand method. For example, when a button is pressed, an action event is generated that has a command name equal to the label on the button. Okay, you can see these GUIs, okay, web pages and all, you have certain buttons. Okay, and suppose if you press one of the button, okay, in that case the command name is nothing but the label on that button. Okay, so this was about the action events. Okay, so action event, there are three constructors, right? In action event we have studied the three types of constructors. Okay, and we have studied the modifiers also, correct? We have studied the integer constants, 4 integer constants to represent the modifiers that was pressed when the event took place, and also there is one integer constant, that is action performed, which can be used to identify the action event, as well as we have studied the three constructors for action event. Okay, and finally we studied one method in the action event class, that is getActionCommand method. So this was about the action event class. Next we will see the adjustment event class. So the adjustment event is generated by a scroll bar. Okay, so whenever you do any changes to the scroll bar, adjustment event occurs. The adjustment event class defines integer constants that can be used to identify them. Okay, so the adjustment event class defines integer constants that can be used to identify the changes to the scroll bar. So these are the integer constants that are defined by the adjustment event class. Block decrement. Okay, it describes that the user clicked inside the scroll bar to decrease its value. Now let me show here only with the scroll bar. I will show it here. Okay. Now see here, I have this scroll bar. Now if I do any changes to the scroll bar, this adjustment event occurs. Okay, block decrement means the user clicked inside the scroll bar to decrease its value. So if I click here, I am decreasing the scroll bar value. Next, block increment means the user clicked inside the scroll bar to increase its value. So to increase its value, if the user clicks inside the scroll bar, okay, it is represented by this integer constant block increment. Okay, drag, the slider was dragged. Okay, so if you drag this slider, it is represented by the track integer constant. Unit decrement means the button at the end of the scroll bar was clicked to decrease its value. If I click this button over here, it is unit decrement. Okay, unit increment means button at the end of the scroll bar was clicked to increase its value. So if I click the button over here to increase the scroll bar value, then it is called as unit increment. Okay, so this was about the integer constants of the adjustment event class: block decrement, block increment, track, unit decrement and unit increment. So In addition, there is one more integer constant, that is adjustment value changed. Okay, that indicates that a change has occurred. So if you do any changes to the scroll bar, it is represented by this integer constant, that is adjustment value changed. The constructor adjustment event, okay, it takes these parameters: adjustable source, int id, int type, int data. Okay, so these are the parameters to the constructor adjustment event. Here, source is a reference to the object that generated this event. Okay, so source is a reference to the object that generated the event. The ID equals to the adjustment value changed. Okay, so what is the change to this adjustment value? Okay, that is represented by the ID. Okay, ID is used to represent the adjustment value changed constant. Okay, the type of the event is specified by type and its associated data is data. So the type of the event is represented by type and the associated data is data. Okay, so source is the reference to the object that generated this event. Okay, here ID equals to the adjustment value changed. So ID represents this constant, that is adjustment value changed, which indicates what change has occurred. Okay, and the type represents the type of the event and its associated data is represented by the data parameter. Next, we have one method here, getAdjustable method. Okay, that returns the object that generated the event. Okay, getAdjustable method returns the object which generated the event. The type of the adjustment event made, okay, it may be obtained by getAdjustmentType. Okay, so getAdjustable over here, getAdjustable method will return the object that generated the event. The type of the adjustment made, okay, that is represented by getAdjustmentType. So object is returned by the getAdjustable method. The type of the adjustment that you made, okay, that is returned by the getAdjustmentType method. So that was about the adjustment event class. So we saw the integer constants in the adjustment event class. We saw one more integer constant, that is adjustment value changed. We saw the constructor of the adjustment event class. And finally, we saw the two methods in the adjustment event class, that is getAdjustable method and getAdjustmentType method. Let us go for the next type of event class, the component event class. So, a component event is generated when a size, position or a visibility of a component is changed. Okay, so if we change the size, position or visibility of a component, okay, then a component event is generated. There are 4 types of component events. Let us see. And the component event class defines integer constants that can be used to identify them. So these are the 4 types of integer constants in the component event class: component hidden, component moved, component resized and component shown. Okay, so component hidden when the component was hidden, component moved when the component was moved, component resized if you resize the component, and component shown, the component becomes visible. So these are the integer constants of the component event class. So if you make any changes to the component, then it is represented by the component event class. This is the constructor of the component event class. Takes 2 parameters, source and type. Source is a reference to the object that generated the event. The type of the event is specified by type. So this is the constructor of the component event class. It takes two parameters, the source that generated the event and the type of the event is specified by type. We have one method in the component event class, getComponent method. It returns the component that generated the event. Okay, so that was about component event class. We have seen the 4 integer constants. So you make any changes to the component, a component event will be generated. We have seen the 4 integer constants of the component event class, the constructor of the component event class, as well as finally we saw one getComponent method, okay, which returns the component that generated the event. Next type of event class is the container event class. So, a container event is generated when a component is added to or removed from a container. Okay, so when you add a component to or remove a component from a container, then a container event is generated. The container event class defines integer constants that can be used to identify them, and they are 2 integer constants, that is component added and component removed. Okay, so these are the 2 integer constants in the container class. Container event is a subclass of component event and it has this constructor. Container event source, which is an object of type component. Okay, since container event is a subclass of component event. Int type component comp. Source is a reference to the container that generated this event. Okay, is an object to the container that generated this event. The type of the event is specified by type, and the component that has been added to or removed from is represented by comp. Okay, so source is an object of type component, okay, or container. It represents the event that was generated. Type is the type of the event. Okay, and finally here comp represents the component that was added or removed from the container. You can obtain a reference to the container that generated this event by using the getContainer method. Okay, so getContainer method will return you the reference to the container that generated this event. So that was about the container class. We saw these 2 constants, component added and component removed, 2 integer constants. Next we saw this constructor, the container event, and finally we saw the getContainer method. The next type of event class is focus event. A focus event is generated when a component gains or loses input focus. Okay, so when a component gains or loses input focus, a focus event is generated. These events are identified by the integer constants focus gained and focus lost. Okay, so these are the integer constants of the focus event class. The focus event is a subclass of component event and has these constructors. Focus event, which takes 2 parameters, the source, object of type component, and the type. One more type of constructor is component source, int type, boolean, temporary flag. The last type of constructor, component source, int type, boolean, temporary flag, component other. So let us see what these parameters are. Source is a reference to the component that generated this event. Okay, so source is a reference to the component that generated this event. The type of the event is specified by type. The argument temporary flag is set to true if the focus event is temporary. Otherwise, it is set to false. Okay. So, if the focus event is temporary, okay, then the temporary flag is set to true. If the focus event is not temporary, okay, then this temporary flag is set to false. So, temporary flag is of type Boolean, which has two values, true or false. Okay. If a focus gain event occurs, other will refer to the component that lost the focus. So when one component gains focus, the other component which had previously gained focus will lose focus. Okay. Suppose if I bring one window, if I focus on one window, okay, the one more window will go behind, right? One more window will lose focus, right? So that is, if a focus gained event occur here, if this event occurs, okay, if focus gained event occurs, then other refers to the component that lost focus. Okay. Whereas if focus lost event occurs, if a focus lost event occurs, then other will represent the component that gained focus. So here two events can occur. One is focus gained and focus lost. When focus gained event occurs, other represents the component that lost the focus. Whereas when focus lost event occurs, other will represent the component that gains the focus. Okay, so that was about the focus event class. Okay, so what is a focus event? When a component gains or loses focus. It has two integer constant, focus gained and focus lost. These are the three constructors. Okay. Source, type. Okay. These are the parameters in that constructor. Source is a reference to the component that generated this event. Type of the event is specified by type. Temporary flag is set to true if the focus is temporary. Focus event is temporary. Otherwise, it is set to false. Focus gained event occurs, then other will refer to the component that lost focus. Focus lost event occurs, then other will refer to the component that gains focus. Okay, so that was about focus event class. Next we will see about the input event class. The abstract class input event is a subclass of component event. And it is the superclass for all the component input events. Okay, you have to remember it is a subclass of component event, but it is the superclass for all component input events. So input event is the superclass for all component input events. Its subclasses are, the input event has two subclasses. Okay, it has two subclasses, key event and mouse event. So these are the two subclasses of the input event class. So it has these following methods. Boolean is alt down, Boolean is alt graph down, Boolean is control down, Boolean is meta down, and finally Boolean is shift down. These are the methods in the input event class. Next type of event is the item event class. An item event is generated when a checkbox or a list item is clicked, and or when a checkable menu item is selected or deselected. Okay, so an item event is generated when a checkbox or a list item is selected, or when a checkable menu item is selected or deselected. There are two types of item events which are identified by the following integer constants. Which are the two types of item event? One is deselected. The user deselected an item. One more integer constant is selected. The user selected an item. Okay, so these are the two integer constants, deselected and selected. So these are the two types of item events, either deselect an item or select an item. The item event has this constructor, okay, item event, item selectable source, int type, object entry, int state. So this item event constructors takes the parameter source, type, object entry, int state. Let us see these parameters. Source is a reference to the component that generated the event. Okay. The type of the event is specified by type. So the type of the event is represented by type. The specific item that generated the item event is passed in entry. Okay, entry represents a specific item that generated this event. And finally, current state of that item is in state. Okay, the state of an item is represented by this parameter state. So this was about the constructor of item event. Okay, so item event. When will this event is generated? When a checkbox or a list item is clicked, or whenever a checkable menu item is selected or deselected. It has two integer constants, okay, deselected and selected, representing the two item events. And it has this constructor, okay, which will take the parameters source, type, of entry and state. Source is a reference to the component that generated this event. Type of the event is specified by type. The specific item that generated the item event is passed in entry. And finally, the current state of that item is in state. Next type of event is key event class. Okay, a key event is generated when the keyboard input occurs. So whenever you are going to input any characters or digits from the keyboard, a key event is generated. There are three types of key events which are identified by the integer constants: key pressed, key released and key types. Okay, so these are the three integer constants which are representing the key events: key pressed, key released and key typed. Okay, three type of key events which are identified by the integer constants: key pressed, key released and key typed. So the first two events are generated when a key is pressed or released. When you press any key from the keyboard or when you release any key from the keyboard, the first two events are generated, that is key pressed and key released. The last event occurs only when a character is generated. So as a result of pressing a key from the keyboard, if a character is generated, then the last event will occur, that is the key typed. Okay. For example, now if you press the shift key, it does not generate any character, right? If you press the shift key from the keyboard, no character is generated. In that case, this key typed event cannot occur. Only when you press, suppose if I press H from the keyboard, in that case a character will be generated, as a result of which key typed event will occur. There are many other integer constants that are defined by the key event. Okay, so VK0, that is virtual keyboard, 0 to 9, VK A through Z define the ASCII equivalent of numbers and letters in the keyboard. Okay, so VK 0 to 9 and VK A to Z, they represent the ASCII equivalent of digits and alphabets in the keyboard. And also we have some other integer constants: VK enter, escape, VK cancel, VK up, VK underscore down, VK underscore left, VK underscore right, VK underscore page down, VK underscore page up, VK underscore shift, VK underscore alt, and finally VK underscore control. Okay, so these are the constants representing the different types of keys in the keyboards. letters and digits are represented by these constants vk0 to vk9 and vk underscore a to vkz, and the other keys are represented by these constants. The key event is a subclass of an input event. Here are the two constructors of it. First constructor takes parameter source, type, when, modifier, code. Second constructor takes source, type, when, modifier, code and character ch as a parameter. Source is a reference to the component that generated the event. The type of the event is specified by type. The system time at which the key was pressed is passed in when. Okay, when is the time stamp when this key was pressed, or the system time at which the key was pressed. The modifier argument indicates which modifier were pressed when the key event occurred. Okay, so if you press any shift, alt or control keys, in that case the modifier argument indicates which modifier you pressed when the key event occurred. The virtual key code, okay, such as vk underscore up, vk underscore a are so forth passed in the code. Okay, here code is there, no? That code represents the virtual key code, such as vk underscore a, vk underscore up. Okay, and the character equivalent of that code is passed in that ch. Okay, ch represents the character equivalent of that code. So this was about the constructor of the key event class. Okay, if no valid character exists, then ch contains char undefined. Okay, so if you do not pass any valid character, okay, to that, where no valid character exists, then ch contains char undefined. For key typed events, code will contain key vk undefined. Okay, so in the case of key typed events, if you are generating any characters, then code will contain vk undefined. So if no character exists, okay, if when you are pressing the key, if no character exists, if you don't generate any characters such as h or 8 or anything like that, then ch contains char undefined. In the case key typed event, when it will occur, the key typed event occurs when you press any character. In that case, code will be vk underscore undefined. If no character is generated, then char will be undefined. Okay, if character is generated, that is in the case of key typed events, character is generated, correct? Here character is generated. In that case, vk will be undefined. Okay, code will contain vk undefined. If character is not generated as a result of pressing keys, then ch contains char undefined. If character is generated as a result of pressing keys, then code will contain vk undefined. Okay, that you have to remember. Character not generated means ch will have char underscore undefined. Character is generated means code will have vk underscore undefined. So that was about the key event class. Next we will see about the mouse event class. So there are 8 types of mouse events, and the mouse event is a subclass of input event. Mouse event class defines the following integer constants that can be used to identify them. So let us see about the different types of mouse events. Okay, so mouse clicked, when the user clicked the mouse. Mouse dragged, the user dragged the mouse. Mouse entered, the mouse entered a component. Mouse exited, the mouse exited from a component. Mouse moved, the mouse moved. Mouse pressed, the mouse was pressed. Mouse released, the mouse was released. Mouse wheel, the mouse wheel was moved. So these are the types of mouse events that was generated. So let us see the constructor over here. Mouse event, component source, int type, long when, int modifiers, int x, int y, int clicks, boolean, triggers pop-up. So let us see about the parameters of this constructor. The modifiers argument indicates which modifiers were pressed when the mouse event occurred. Okay, so the modifier argument represents the modifiers pressed when the mouse event occurred. I told you about the different types of modifiers: control key, alt key, okay, control key, alt key. If you press, then those are the modifiers. So if you press search keys, the modifier indicates those modifiers which were pressed. Okay, so when you generate mouse events, if you press suppose alt key, okay, then that modifier will be represented by the modifier argument. The coordinates of the mouse are passed in x and y. Okay, so in the screen, the coordinates of the mouse are represented by x and y. The click count is passed in clicks. How many times you click the mouse? Okay, that will be represented by clicks. Triggers pop-up flag indicate if the event causes a pop-up menu to appear on the platform. So this triggers pop-up is a flag indicating, okay, if this event causes a pop-up menu to appear on the platform. Next type of event is the text event class. So text event class, instances of this class describe text events. These are generated by the text field and the text areas when characters are entered by a user or program. So generated by text field or text areas when you enter a character by a user or by a program. So text event defines the integer constant text value changed. Okay, so this is an integer constant representing the text event. The one constructor for this class is text event, object source and int type. So source is a reference to the object that generated this event. Type of the event is specified by type. So that was about text event. Okay, when you do any changes to the text field or text areas, when you enter a characters, okay, or do some changes to the text field or text areas, text event is generated. Okay, there is one integer constant representing the text event class, that is text value changed. Okay, as well as you have this constructor text event which will take source and type as a parameter. Next, last type of event class is window event class. Window event class defines integer constants that can be used to identify them. Okay, so you do any changes to the windows, it defines integer constants that can be used to identify them. So these are the window events that occur. Window activated, the window was activated. Window closed, the window has been closed. Window closing, the user requested that the window be closed. Window deactivated, the window was deactivated. Window de-iconified, the window was de-iconified. Window gained focus, the window gained input focus. Window iconified, the window was iconified. Window lost focus, the window lost input focus. Window opened, the window was opened. Window state changed, the state of the window changed. So these are the window events that can occur. Okay, integer constants representing the window events. Window activated, closed, closing, deactivated, window de-iconified, window gained focus, window iconified, window lost focus, window opened, window state changed. So this is the constructor of window class. Window event is a subclass of component event. It defines several constructors. The first one is window event, window source and int type. Source is a reference to the object that generated this event. The type of the event is specified by type. Next type of constructor is window event. It takes a parameter source, type and other. Next type of constructor takes source, type, from state and to state. Finally, there is one more constructor which takes source, type, other, from state and to state. Other specifies the opposite window when the focus event occurs. From state specifies the prior state of the window. To state specifies the new state that the window will have when a window state change occurs. So other specifies the opposite event when a focus event occurs. From state specifies the prior state of the window, and to state specifies the new state of the window. So that was all about today's lecture. Okay, we have studied about the different types of event classes. The remaining topic I will explain it in the next lecture. Thank you.